Now we changed all filters, and now we will go to the calibration. Now you see the protocol, correct? So we changed the filters, all filters, and now we start calibration. Only use the calibration gas cylinder. All current and exact concentrations of the gas components must be entered into the gas analyzer system before use. Check the storage life of each new calibration gas. So yeah, of course, it is really important that you write down the values of the calibration gas inside the gas analyzer, because otherwise the gas analyzer could not do the correct calibration. And I show you where. So now we have the user level 32,000, and here we have calibration. Click calibration. So here we have medium, the state. I will show you later. The history. History means what happened in the last years. So it's a really, really young gas analyzing system. The setup shows you we have two channels, channel 1 and channel 3. This is a channel 1 with 3-point calibration, but then it's then you see the right one. We are in the calibration, and we have media, state, history, and setup. We start with the media. I told you we have calibration gas air.
Yeah.
Okay. No methane, no H2S, hydrogen sulfide, but oxygen with 20% 0.95. Okay, that's air.
Okay.
Because we do a calibration with air and gas, and then we have calibration gas, and here you can see methane at 54.9. Now you have to take care. We have in our bottle we have 55%, so we have to change it. Now it's 55%.
Okay.
Because that's really important that you check this always. Then hydrogen sulfide, 1,000 ppm. That's correct. So we have also 1,000 ppm in our bottle, and oxygen it's 0. Calibration gas 2, it's not needed for this one. Maybe if you have H2S low range sensor, for example from 0 to 200 ppm, then you need calibration gas 2. Different ranges for H2S sensors. We have ranges from 0 to 200 or to 500 ppm, and then we have ranges to 1,500 or 3,000 or 5,000 ppm, and therefore we need a different gas. For the high ranges, we need 1,000 ppm H2S in the calibration gas, and for the low range H2S sensors, we need around 100 ppm H2S. That's the reason why we would need a second calibration gas if we would have a low range H2S. But at the moment, this gas analyzer has just a high H2S. Okay, good. Very important point. Good. Then we entered it and the gas analyzer, and then we want to start the automatic calibration. Before you start the automatic calibration, it is really important that the calibration gas is connected to the gas analyzer. But we did it before, so everything is okay. Then we go to setup and say, okay, we want to start channel 1 with CH4 and O2. It is important that it is manual. This has to be green. If auto is green, then first you have to switch to manual. Now manual is green, great, then start calibration. When you click start calibration now, yes. And now you see the green button. And we can check the state, because at the state here, first one, you can always see what happened at the moment, what happens at the moment. Okay, when it's blue, then measuring is working, and here you can see it's the run 1 at the calibration point 1 with CaliGas air. So the calibration starts with air, and it looks good. It's around 20.81% oxygen and 0.1% methane. So it takes some time, and we need this time to see what happens. And here you can see this number. When it's 8, then the measuring stops, because then the value are stable. Now it's green. After each measuring, the sensors will be flushed by air for 1 minute. Now it changed 1 second to calibration gas, and now it happens this. Calibration gas 1 connected to CaliGas 1 and acknowledge here. So this is a question, a check for you. Is the calibration gas really connected to the gas analyzer? If you're sure, then click yes, and methane goes up, increase. while the calibration is running, you should always also check again the pump, the flow meter, to check it is still 0.5 liter per minute at the flow meter I showed you before. So now it's flushing again. Methane looks really good. O2 looks good again. 1 second. And now we need a second run. The gas analyzing system decides on its own how many runs does it need to make a good calibration. We can go back to the calibration. Here's the setup, and here we have the stage of the calibration. And here we can see if it is green, everything is great. So we can click the CH4 calibration with gas air. It looks really good. Calibration, no changes necessary. Here's are the values of the first run with the pressure. But when we check the calibration gas 1 for the CH4 sensor, it's blue. Blue, it means that everything okay. I can gas analyzer can calibrate it, but I need another run. So this is the actual value. It's a little bit too high because the gas analyzer don't do any adjustment at plus minus 0.1%. But here we have a little bit more. We have plus 0.4%. So that's the reason why the gas analyzer decides to take another run. And after around 3 runs, normally 3 runs, the gas analyzer is doing the calibration of the sensor. If it is red, then we have a problem with the sensor. So if the colors green, blue, and red, if this would be red, then maybe the drift is too high. So it means that it's not possible to calibrate the sensor. If you have this, I think for the first times, it would be the best to call us, to write an email. Yeah, but normally you have to change the sensor. If this is red, if here's showing you something red, normally there's for O2 sensors, there's some changing interval of 2 years. And for H2S sensors, around 4 to 5 years, you should change it. And for infrared, for H4 sensors, the time is longer. And when you call us, a lot of partners might do this. When you go to maintenance, you can write us an email before, and you can say, okay, could you send me an offer for all spare parts I need for the annual maintenance? And then we check the age of the sensors, and maybe there was a problem before, and then we will send you an offer about all filters you need and all sensors you could need. And sometimes a little bit more if it is an older one. Maybe it's good to have a ventil or a new pump with you, that you can do the maintenance as good as you go. Now you can see here it changes also to blue. So maybe there's one, it's a little bit less, but a little bit low. You can see here this was a little bit too low. I think he will calibrate it a little bit up. But here are 3 runs. Let us check the state, what happens at the moment. Run 3 calibration gas with Cali gas. So I think it will be the last run, but let's see. That looks really good. It's continuous increasing of the value. The pressure is not jumping. Here's the pressure, P sense. Pressure is not jumping, so everything looks really good. If anything is jumping really high, then it's not good normally. Let's jump back to the protocol, because you should write down some values. Here it's the table. So you have the calibration gas, the set point concentration, no adjustment at, and the spread factor. Spread factor I show you. Back to the calibration state. Here you have to, not for the last run. Here you have the spread factor, spread for allowed signal. It's 1. So normally it's 1 and should be 1. But yeah, you should just write it down. We will give you support if anything will change. Then you write down the runs, run 1, 2, 3. This is the signal. This is the value, and this is the pressure. Let's check the protocol, the signal, the value, and the pressure. And check after calibration, the value and the signal. Now you see everything is green. So it means that the calibration is done. Measurement is successfully finished. So it took 3 runs, run 1, 2, 3, and now the system calibrated the sensors, and one last measuring is missing because after each calibration, the gas analyzer is measuring one last one last round. So let's see what happens at the moment. Test at the moment it's flushing air, and now the last round of calibration gas. You can see here calibration gas air. Now we have actual value while the calibration and check after calibration. Okay, this is for air, but we are waiting for the gas here within the next seconds, and now we see the actual value 55.44% CH4. It's a little bit too high. Some more seconds. So the actual value was 55.44% CH4, and after the calibration we have 54.98% CH4. So this is really, really good value after calibration, and you see it worked. And this you can write down in the protocol here. Value. You have to do it for all sensors you have. In this case, we have CH4. Yes, we don't have CO2. This is a table for CH4 for air, just for air. And this is for the calibration gas, CH4. We don't have CO2, but we have O2, so you have to write down it also for O2. And then we have H2S sensor. I show you again the setup. So you see we have channel 1, and a channel 1 is a channel with CH4 and O2 sensor. So when you start, we have started this channel. So we finished 2 sensors. There's more, 2 sensors in one channel. For the H2S sensor, there's just one sensor in one channel. The calibration for channel 1 is done. Now we should start the H2S calibration. It is the same like I showed you for the channel 1. Click start, and then the calibration is running automatically. You don't have to do it because it looks complete same. Then we have it for H2S, calibration gas, H2S. And if you have H2 sensor, it is the same. A lot of tables which you can fill. Okay, and then calibration is done. When you calibrated all sensors, calibration is done, and then you have to do some more things. Resetting the automatic maintenance reminder. Close the calibration. Then we go to service, and here you click maintenance done. Have you finished maintenance? And then you see here last maintenance today. Otherwise there would be a signal each day that you have to do the calibration or they have to do the maintenance. So it's important that you click maintenance done. Then attaching test sticker to the outside. We have in Germany and Europe, we have some stickers with where you should sign when you did the maintenance. It is important for some other part. I don't know if you have it, a test sticker. Then checking the external data transfer. You have to talk to your customer if everything is okay with the external data transfer. If there are any problems, then let's check. If you have any questions, then please call us or write us an email. That's really easy. But after the maintenance, important to check it because you do a restart and sometimes the transfer stop, and so then you have to check, is it working again? Then we have to do some last final checks on the data backup. So calibrating with our calibration gas connection requires the measuring gas to be attached to the connecting point on measuring point 1 again. This is important because at the moment the calibration gas is connected. Now we have to disconnect it. Here, measuring point 1. You have to connect this. We disconnect it. When you open the gas bottle, when you open this one, you should do it always outside because there's a last rest of gas inside, and or you should open the windows or something like that. Be careful, not on the nose, away from the nose and from the head. But now we disconnect it. And we connect the customer's gas again to the gas measuring point port. So last one check, everything is okay, and then we can go on. Make sure date and time are set correctly. Here you see the date and the time. When we deliver the gas analyzing systems, it is our time, so our German time. So then you have to change the time when you say set and date, and you can switch it. Now you have a new date, still 09.44, but we have to restart the system and then it should work. Okay, thus we can delete it because it's a continuous measurement system. We don't have it. But one more thing, performing a data backup or data export respectively by means of a USB stick. Therefore, we go back to settings and we have the USB stick again. When you click it, you should connect a USB stick to the gas analyzer system, and then you have to download. You should download here the complete data, because you should store this data for the gas analyzers, because if there are any problems, the customer has some questions, or you need a new panel PC, for example, you need a new configuration because of an extension or something like that. It is the best to have the newest configuration, the newest app download, newest data to make some changes. When you have to download and there are any problems, we can check in the download the data, and maybe we can see if there was anything wrong or anything not so good or something like that. Okay, then we make the restart. I told you before that we have to do a restart that to update everything, the calibration data and the time, for example. After calibration, please always do a restart, because the system is running 365 days a year, 24/7 hours each day, and 7 days a week. So it is really important to make a reboot once a year. Then resetting the user level. Normally, when you do the reboot, the user level is resetted down to 100. So you can delete this point. And then that's the turnaround to the first point, checking the current measured value, table 70 after calibration. It is really important again to check the values from the customer's gas, and then you can see if everything is correct, because it should be similar to the first values. If they're completely different, then maybe we should check some. It's not a good signature that everything is going completely in a different way. You can also check the air at the beginning and at the end. Compare it with the first measuring points values and the last measured value. And that's it. So we have some more space for the documentation of the replaced component. If you changed, for example, a sensor or a ventil or something like that, then you can write it down. So you have everything in one document, and then you should store it together with the data. And that's a maintenance.